Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
Today we are looking at part 3 of our story, Empty City Strategy.
Yes, and so we've already seen part 1 and 2, and we know that there are 2 different armies. One is very gigantic and could very easily take over this entire city because the other army, the other leader, Zhuge Liang, he only has a handful of soldiers, and basically his entire city could get taken over so quickly, but he is very clever, so he came up with a very interesting strategy.
That's right. So his plan involves some of the soldiers dressing up as just city people, just people in the city, and even doing things like sweeping the city streets. And the rest of his soldiers are hiding. They're hiding inside of places where they can't be seen. And then after that, he's just left the gates of the city wide open.
Yes, and so the General E, he gets there with his army and he goes, I don't like what I am seeing. This looks very weird because I'm here with an army to fight. Why is there not an army there trying to fight me back? Why is everything just open and it looks like there's almost no people? So in this kind of whole military setting where you could be potentially losing soldiers' lives, this is maybe a little bit surprising and making him go, I don't know about this. This seems not right.
Right, and it's even made, he's even seen Zhuge Liang just acting casually, acting carefree, and not doing anything to fight back. So it's made him a bit worried. And I guess we're going to find out what exactly he is going to do next when we start off with part 3.
General E wasn't willing to risk his army, so he ordered his soldiers to turn back. After the enemy was far from the city, Zhuge Liang met with his soldiers. Everyone was excited that Liang's strategy fooled the enemy. Liang explained that it only worked because of Yi's nature. In Yi's mind, Liang was being dishonest and wanted Yi to think the city was empty.
Okay, so we are starting off our part 3, Empty City Strategy. Again, we are now at that moment where General Sima Yi, he is looking at the city and he's going, I'm not sure why the gates are open. I feel like something is maybe not quite right. There must be some plan here. It cannot be as easy as just walking in and taking this whole city. So, what does he do?
General E wasn't willing to risk his army. So as we just said, he thought it was a trap when he had seen the city gates wide open. So he ordered his soldiers to turn back. So he's not going to attack this city now. He's not going to walk into the city that's wide open for him to take, but he's told his soldiers to turn back, which means to turn around and go back where they have come from. They'll go back away from this place.
Yes, and so again, he's not just going to rush in because he has many soldiers with him. He doesn't want to risk his army. He doesn't want to risk losing soldiers. He doesn't want to hurt the size of his army because there's still many more battles yet to come. After the enemy was far from the city, Zhuge Liang met with his soldiers. So now everything is safe, and he goes, okay, now I'm going to go back and talk with my soldiers.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的文法重点。Be willing to 加动词，愿意做某事。Willing 是形容词，意思是有意愿的。我们来看看这个例句。I'm willing to learn new things every day. 我愿意每天学习新事物。下一个文法 turn back 撤退掉头，这是一个不可以分开的动词片语。我们来看看这个例句 We got lost and decided to turn back. 我们迷路了，决定掉头回去。接着我们回到课文当中。
Everyone was excited that Liang's strategy fooled the enemy. we say everyone, we mean all of his soldiers that are there. They've been hiding or dressing up as city people, but now they can celebrate because the strategy has worked. Liang explained that it only worked because of Yi's nature. All right, so this plan worked to fool the enemy. So to fool someone means to trick or deceive or to give them some information or make them think something that is not true. So you might be familiar with April Fool's Day, which is April 1st. And on April Fool's Day, you try to fool people or try to trick people to make them believe or think something that maybe isn't true, and you make them feel like a fool. So a fool is a noun for someone who has been fooled or who is easily fooled. They are a fool.
Yes, and again we see that this only worked because of Yi's nature. So we talked about this a little bit before, that Liang and Yi, they know each other, because Yi was like, hey, I know Liang is a very careful person. He wouldn't just do this without a plan. And Liang knows that Yi knows that, and he also knows that Yi maybe is not willing to risk a lot of his soldiers' lives. So they know each other, and that's how they're able to kind of get into each other's head to make this work. And it says, in Yi's mind, Liang was being dishonest and wanted Yi to think the city was empty. So he knew what he might be thinking. He knew that if he saw this, he would think it's a trap. So that's why he knew it would work in this way. So he knew that he would think that Liang was being dishonest. And dishonest means not honest. And if you are honest, you are telling the truth, you are saying the correct thing, you are not lying. You're being truthful and you are being honest. So the opposite of that would be being dishonest.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 fool 动词愚弄糊弄 Don't fool me, I know what you're up to. 别愚弄我，我知道你在做什么。Be up to 指的是某人正在做某事，常指偷偷的做坏事。Dishonest 形容词不诚实的。Bruce is dishonest because he lied to his friend. Bruce 不诚实，因为他对朋友撒谎。接着我们回到课文当中。
All right, it's interesting that Yi thinks Zhuge Liang was dishonest because I guess he was actually very honest because the city was actually quite empty.
True, very true.
But because Yi thought that Liang wouldn't just let him know that the city was empty, he thought he must be lying. So I'm getting out of here because it's clearly a trap.
Yes, it's a little bit of this kind of like liar's game or bluffing each other back and forth where you go, well, you would think this, but then you would think this, but you would know that I would think this. So, okay, what should we do?
Right. Okay, well, we've got to take a break here, but we'll be back after this.
Liang's strategy paid off. The two armies didn't go to war, and nobody lost his life. Zhuge Liang showed great wisdom with his clever strategy.
All right, so we are back. Again, we just looked at how these two leaders know each other, and that's how they're kind of able to play against each other and use strategy rather than just brute force to kind of save a lot of people's lives.
So let's get back to the story. Liang's strategy paid off. The two armies didn't go to war, and nobody lost his life. Okay, so something pays off. It means that something has had a good result in the end. So you have trusted in something, you've put your energy into something, and in the end, it was worth putting that energy or that money or whatever you put into it because it had a benefit in the end. In this case, Liang trusting his own strategy was something that resulted in something good in the end, so it paid off for him.
Yes, and so the payoff in this situation was that the two armies did not go to war. War just means a gigantic battle between two sides. In general, we would probably say all of the smaller battles are battles, all the smaller fights are battles, but the entire thing, the entire end goal would be considered the war. So if one side is trying to completely take over the other side, they might have many small battles to get closer and closer and closer, but when they finally take over the capital city, then you could maybe say they have won the war. So a big, big, big battle between two big forces.
All right, so another payoff is that nobody lost his life. So the word lost is the past tense of the verb lose. To lose something means to not have something anymore. So if I say I lost my wallet, that means that I don't have my wallet, or maybe I just can't find my wallet. So when we use this as someone lost their life, in this case we mean someone doesn't have life anymore, which means that they died. So in this case it's a good news because nobody died.
Yes, and so then we can continue on and see how our story is going to start to wrap up. And it says, Zhuge Liang showed great wisdom with his clever strategy. So again, this whole thing goes back to the fact that he was very clever and good at thinking, and he knew his opponent, he knew the person that was on the other side, so he had a lot of wisdom. He used all of the wisdom that he had to create this strategy. And wisdom comes from the word wise, and if you are wise, then you have a lot of wisdom. They kind of go back and forth with the noun and the adjective form, and it basically means to be smart and intelligent and clever and kind of have not just purely intelligence, but intelligence that you can kind of use in lots of different situations. Like you might be very good at math, but that might not necessarily mean that you are a wise person, because you also need to be able to handle all different situations in life. And if you can do that, then you have a lot of wisdom.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 war 名词战争 The war lasted for many years 战争持续了许多年 Last 指的是持续 Lose 动词失去它的三态是 lose, lost Bill lost his dog last month Bill 的狗狗上个月过世了 Wisdom 名词智慧 The old man gave us words of wisdom 那位老人给了我们智慧的话语文法的部分刚刚提到了 something pays off 某事物成功有所回报我们来看看这个例句 All of our hard work will pay off 我们所有的努力会有回报的接着我们回到课文当中
Okay, so after that wise decision to try to trick his enemy or make his enemy think that he's trying to trick him and as a result tricking him.
Yes.
It's resulted in a good result for, I guess, everyone because nobody died.
Yes, it was kind of like a bluff on a bluff on a bluff, and he thought one thing, and then you did that to make him think one thing, but if he didn't actually believe it, well, then things would have gone much, much worse. If he actually was like, hey, he randomly has not many people. Let's just walk in and take over this entire city. Well, he could have, because there was nobody to stop him.
Right, well, so I guess what we can learn from this is that you should always think about what your enemy or opponent might be thinking. So you have to think about what they're going to be thinking in order to think of the best strategy for yourself. All right, well, that's the end of today's lesson and the end of this story. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
General Yi wasn't willing to risk his army, so he ordered his soldiers to turn back. After the enemy was far from the city, Zhuge Liang met with his soldiers. Everyone was excited that Liang's strategy fooled the enemy. Liang explained that it only worked because of Yi's nature. In Yi's mind, Liang was being dishonest and wanted Yi to think the city was empty. Liang's strategy paid off. The two armies didn't go to war, and nobody lost his life. Zhuge Liang showed great wisdom with his clever strategy.
我们来复习一下这一课的重点单字跟文法。单字的部分 ，fool 动词愚弄、糊弄 ；dishonest 形容词不诚实的 ；war 名词战争 ；lose 动词失去 ；wisdom 名词智慧。接着我们来看文法的部分 ，be willing to 加动词愿意做某事。My parents are willing to take care of the baby this weekend. 我父母这周末愿意照顾宝宝。Turn back 撤退掉头 It's too late to turn back now. 现在掉头太迟了。Something pays off 某事物成功有所回报。All of your hard work finally paid off. 你所有的努力总算有了回报。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一次再见喽，拜拜。
Fitness, or the condition of being physically strong and healthy, is something all of us must incorporate into our daily lives. The best way to do that is to exercise. Today, we are going to explore the perfect place to stay fit, the Tamsui Civil Sports Center. The Tamsui Civil Sports Center building looks like a sailboat. Inside, it has a swimming pool, ball courts, a fitness center, and more. The center's swimming education stands out. Its classes teach people about water safety. They also help people develop an interest in water sports. Other classes, such as kayaking and rock climbing, are also available. The center hopes it can help Tamsui become healthy, happy, and full of life. Next time you're in the Tamsui area and you're looking to get in a good workout, just look for that building that looks like a sailboat. The Tamsui Civil Sports Center awaits you.